This is a debate that I see come up a lot in the firearms community. Is it better to own many firearms or just to own a few and invest the rest of your resources in training and ammunition? It's usually framed as a either or. But in my experience, that framing misses something important. Today, I want to talk about why this is often a false choice and how each approach can make sense depending on who you are and what you're trying to accomplish. From the first shot onward. This debate usually comes up from a good place. And people generally want to encourage responsibility, proficiency, and thoughtful ownership. And all of those are good goals. Where it can go sideways is when the discussion becomes a little bit prescriptive and judgmental, as if there's one simple correct philosophy for everyone across the board. Simply stated, there isn't. Let's start with the argument for owning fewer firearms. This approach emphasizes repetition and deep familiarity and consistency. If you shoot one primary handgun, then you're reinforcing the same grip, the same trigger, the same manual of arms. Now, in competition, this argument has real merit. Fractions of a second could matter. Stage planning matters. Consistency matters. And switching between platforms can absolutely cost time, especially under stress. I can say I experienced this personally myself. But now let's look on the other side. Owning multiple firearms doesn't automatically mean that you're less proficient. It just means that you're managing complexity. It's entirely possible to be proficient with several firearms, especially if the standard is being able to render anatomically significant hits in a self-defense context. That level of proficiency doesn't require perfection. It requires familiarity and practice and honest assessment. This is where nuance matters. Switching between platforms requires awareness of differences such as striker fired versus hammer fired, or single action only versus double action, single action, or the presence or absence of a manual safety. You can also consider things such as the difference in grip angles and trigger feels. All these differences matter, but they're not insurmountable. They simply just demand attention and intention. So if you rotate firearms, you need to train with awareness, not just try to go on autopilot. Another reality worth acknowledging is a budget, or what I consider a salary cap. Some people are constrained financially and others are not so much. That doesn't make either group more or less virtuous. So if someone has the resources to own multiple firearms and train regularly, that doesn't invalidate their approach. Likewise, someone with one reliable firearm and a steady trading cadence may be far more capable than someone with a full safe and no repetitions. Resources do not equal skill, but they can enable opportunity. As mentioned before, competition shooting does add another layer. Now, if your goal is to climb the leaderboards, then specialization helps. Running the same gun and the same holster, the same setup over and over, that likely is a recipe for success. In that context, fewer is better is probably the stronger argument. And yet, I still choose a variety. As for my personal approach, I'm not really chasing podiums. I am chasing growth. I enjoy running different firearms in competition, even knowing that it may cost me time. Now, in USPSA and Skill Challenge, that trade-off is real. But for me, the enjoyment outweighs the lost seconds or the standings in the leaderboard. Now, in IDPA, which emphasizes everyday carry context, I do intentionally limit my competition rotation to firearms that I may realistically carry. It's kind of an audition for carrying in the real world, and that teaches me some things. Sometimes it reveals the grip differences, as we mentioned before, draw inconsistencies, or ergonomics that may matter under stress. And those lessons are valuable, maybe life-saving at some point. So when people ask, should I buy more guns or should I train more? My answer is, standard lawyer answer, I know, that depends. It depends on your goals and your resources and your temperament. And you should be able to be honest with yourself in terms of those intents. It's not a moral question, it's a practical one, and one that each individual has the ability to decide on their own. Now, I'm curious as to how you approach this. Do you prefer the defamiliarity that comes from having one firearm, or do you enjoy the process of learning with different platforms? What's your approach and why? Thoughtful reflections are always welcome here. Owning firearms is not about quantity, and it isn't about restraint for restraint's sake. It's about alignment. Alignment between your goals and your training and your resources, as well as your pure enjoyment. Whether you run one firearm or several, what matters is that you know why, and that your choices move you forward intentionally, responsibly, and honestly. Until next time, may God's love completely cover you from the first shot onward.